Have you ever come to a point in your life where you're trying something, you're asking somebody, maybe it's a business opportunity, whatever it is, you keep asking for something that you want and you keep getting a flat out no? Starbucks coffee. We all know it. Every time you drive up and down the street, whether you're in a mall, an outlet mall, anywhere you may be, we can't avoid seeing that green siren sign with the logo Starbucks coffee. As you all know what I'm about to say, the story behind that green siren is quite interesting, not so much because of the founder, but because of the previous CEO, Howard Schultz, who had a very interesting story that is a perfect introduction into what we're going to be talking about today, which is consistency. Howard Schultz, back in the 80s, he didn't come from a very wealthy family, and he was in college for communications, and he had this love and fascination for, as you can imagine, coffee. And his dream was to work for this little company called Starbucks Coffee. And at the time, this Starbucks was only selling coffee beans, not actual coffee that you can drink, but just the coffee beans. And Howard was trying to convince the three owners for about a year to let him work for them. And eventually they just gave in and were like, okay, fine, you can work for the company. So although Howard was happy, one trip he went to Italy and he was completely enamored and fascinated about the things that he had discovered on this trip. He went to these Italian coffee shops and he noticed the owners actually knew their customers. They called them out by name. They were serving this amazing artisan coffee, and he fell in love with the experience he had there. So super happy and inspired, he came back to the US and he pitched his idea to the owners of Starbucks, saying the amazing ideas he had to take the company further, to open more restaurants, and how they can serve coffee similar to the strategies that he picked up while on his Italy trip. And the owners completely knocked it down. They didn't want to do it. They didn't agree with his business strategy. But Howard Schultz still had that inspiration inside of him, and he quit Starbucks and he decided to open his own coffee company called Il Giornale. But the difficult part was that Howard had no money. He recently came out of college. He did not come from a wealthy family and he had no money, but he had such a passion and a desire to execute these ideas that he picked up while in Italy. So what did he do? He approached investors to try to raise money for his coffee company. He spoke with 242 investors, and out of the 242, 217 of them gave him a flat out no. But he focused on the ones who were willing to invest in his company and who did see the bigger vision. So eventually, Howard is working his booty off, working these long hours to make the coffee shop until eventually, guess what company goes bankrupt? Starbucks. So Howard Schultz, because of the money that he raised from his coffee company, Il Giornale, he was able to buy Starbucks and was now the owner. Why does this story talk to us about consistency? Have you ever come to a point in your life where you're trying something, you're asking somebody, maybe it's a business opportunity, whatever it is, you keep asking for something that you want and you keep getting a flat out no? I've been there. It sucks. Nobody likes rejection, and we all kind of have this expectation that it's just kind of supposed to happen for us. But if we look at Howard Schultz's story, the interesting part is that he actually quit Starbucks and pursued this company that he thought was going to be his ultimate end goal, which is the company Il Giornale that he started up. But the interesting thing about life is sometimes we're working so hard to achieve one dream, but the end goal is way different from what we expected. If Howard Schultz didn't work his butt off to approach all of these investors every single day, day and night, maybe he had marketing material, getting your speech ready, getting your pitch ready, finding the investor, going up to them, meeting them in person, scheduling a day and a time, getting dressed up, going and facing them, giving them your biggest, most deepest desire and dream, and having them give you a flat out no. That sucks one time that happens. Definitely 2 times, definitely 3 times. But how about 217 times waking up, putting on your suit, giving your everything to pitch this idea, this dream that you have, and continually hearing no? That is the power of consistency. If he had stopped because of the 217 that told him no, he would have never found the investors who did believe in his company and did say yes, that eventually gave him the funds to purchase Starbucks when the opportunity presented itself. A lot of times we think because we're on social media and we see, oh, this person just bought a house, this person just bought a car, this person just got married, this person just got a promotion, and we think, man, that's just, they make it look so easy. I've been trying for so hard for so long, and why hasn't that happened to me? That's a fallacy, because life and success is not built on a bunch of Hail Marys. It's built on a bunch of 3-yard runs. Let me explain. For all you football fans out there, we all know that a Hail Mary is a super crazy, incredible throw that beats the odds and is like almost a miracle throw. But that's not what wins the majority of games. If you think about it, if you run 3 yards every single down, you're always going to score a touchdown. Just 3 yards. But sometimes we think that if I didn't get the Hail Mary, we're not going to win this game. If I don't get that promotion this year, I'm never going to make it to the position that I want to. If I don't find a significant other before Christmas, I'm going to be single forever. If I don't sell this home by October, the home is never going to sell. But what if instead of focusing on the Hail Mary pass, you just focus on the 3 yards that you can do every single day? Whatever that goal is for you, something that you've always wanted, something you've been trying so hard to do but are becoming discouraged, be like Howard Schultz and just do 3 yards every single day. It can be something small. If you are looking to lose weight, a lot of people, you're going to see a lot of marketing for these fad diets, these Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, all that stuff, and I'm sure it works for some people. But as you and I know, is that this true secret to losing weight is not a secret. We all know. We all know you eat healthy, you go to the gym, you wake up when you don't want to go to the gym, and you live a healthy lifestyle. It's literally that simple. But we still don't choose to do it because we want the Hail Mary weight loss pill. We want the Hail Mary workout secret that's going to give us a 6-pack. But that's just not the reality of how life works. What's discouraging is that we live in a world where when you and I order something off of the internet, we can say, oh, it's been about 3 days and my package still isn't here. Where is it? So we just go on our app and we look up the tracking number. Where is my package? How far away is it from me? I need to know where it arrives exactly. But that is not how God works. God doesn't give us a tracking number. He gives us a confirmation that he's a promise keeper and he's going to fulfill his promises, but he doesn't give us a tracking number. The truth is that you and I don't know when God's promise is going to happen in our life. And if it can become so frustrating. But if you think about it, if you knew when you were going to get that promotion, if you knew when that business was finally going to push through, if you knew when your kid was finally going to stop misbehaving and start going to church and start just being great, you wouldn't need God. We are going to continually reach points in our life where there is discouragement, where there is uncertainty, where we are just completely annoyed because we're not seeing the results. But that's where God kicks in. You don't have to have the answer. You just have to show up every single day with that consistency. Howard Schultz's dream was for his own coffee company to be a success. But no, God knew what the end date was, when his promise was going to come. So even though his coffee company Il Giornale wasn't a big success, if it wasn't for the consistency that he had building that company, he would have never been able to purchase Starbucks and build it into the multi-billion-dollar empire that it is today. There is no tracking information on God's promise. Having faith and belief is not for the weak of heart. it is going to be hard, and you are going to save yourself a lot of time just going in with the expectation that it's going to be hard, that people are going to reject you, that it's not going to go as you planned, that you're going to feel like you're taking 3 steps back every time you try to push forward in 3 yards. Expect that it's going to be hard, but maybe the toughness is a gift from God. Instead of saying, God, why haven't you given me what I want yet? Think about what God can be building inside of you right now to give you the tools to be ready to handle the success that he's going to bring you. If Howard Schultz didn't work those long hours by himself in his coffee company, hustling and grinding, you think he could have built a multi-billion-dollar empire? Of course not. All of these struggles, all of these rejections, all of these closed doors, all of these no's are building your fuel in order to better handle the incredible success that God is going to eventually bring you. Don't see it as a punishment. See it as a gift, because you're getting stronger and your toolbox is getting greater. We can find this in James 1, verse 3 and 4. Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Perseverance makes you mature and complete. You are not in lack. God is blessing you and gifting you with the tenacity that it takes in order for you to handle the success that he's going to eventually bring you. A couple of years back, when I was first starting in real estate and construction and home building, there was a developer in town that we really wanted to purchase lots from. We really wanted to be a part of their community. The thing was, a bunch of other builders felt that way as well. And so person that was in charge, it was a woman who, for this example, let's call her Rachel. Rachel, who was in charge of the builders relations and getting into contact with them and allocating the lots, was the woman that we needed to contact in order to be considered to be a part of this community that we wanted to be in. And I remember being super nervous. But I took it upon myself to call her, This was about 2 years ago. And I think I made it my goal to call her every other week or at least once a month. And I would say, hey, Rachel, it's Lauren. I'm just calling to see if the lots are going to be located for this new subdivision. We really want to be a part of it. Every single time I would call, she was doing her job, which was a great job. And she would just tell me, we have the builders that are preferred builders, and we don't have any room for any additional ones. So that's that, that's that. And what she was saying was true. I don't blame her at all. And so I just remember being super discouraged because I was like, I know you don't know us very well, but we're very reputable. We pay our bills. We're very easy to work with. And we would just love the opportunity, but she just wasn't able to give it to us at that time. But I kept going because I knew the lot allocation was going to happen for that subdivision. So I would keep calling her, keep getting the same response. I would have to hype myself up, keep calling her, and bless her heart, because I'm pretty sure she was super annoyed of me. I'm pretty sure she would probably see my name on the phone and be like, I know what she's going to ask for. But sometimes when you're being consistent, what matters is your attitude. Wherever you're in right now, if you show up and say, okay, God has my promise for me, and you show up with a nasty attitude, that is a guarantee that you're not going to get eventually where you need to be. You have to have a good attitude, even when it sucks, even when it's discouraging, because it definitely will be, but it's a blessing. The restraints and the tension that you're going through right now is a blessing because it's building your toolbox. You have to have a good attitude. And I think Rachel noticed that. She probably maybe even felt bad that she kept telling me no, but she was just doing her job. So eventually, the lot allocation for this subdivision did happen. And guess who she called? Not us. She did not call me. And I was super upset. And I expected it, but I was still super disappointed. Not upset. I wasn't mad at her, but I was like, dang, I tried so hard and I called her so much. And I got her gifts. I was just doing the most. And so when it happened and they didn't call us, I was like, nah, so I was super discouraged. But I was like, you know what? I can say that I gave him my everything, that I did my best, and it's with God. He saw my works, and sorry I couldn't make it work, God, but I tried. Okay. So what happens? About a year later, we still have no lots from this developer, and by the grace of God, I get a call one day, and it's Rachel, and she says, "Hi, Lauren. So this doesn't usually happen, and there's many other people that I can call, but I thought I would call you first just to see." And she's like, "One builder is looking to sell 2 lots right now in the subdivision. He just called me and told me this. I have other builders that I can call about this, but I figured you came to my mind. So I figured I would call you first and see if that's something that you would be interested in, but I would, it would need to be soon that I need to know." And I was like, okay. So we go to these lots. They are incredible lots, like incredible lots, way better than we could have ever imagined. So immediately we bounce on the opportunity. We tell her yes, and we eventually buy and close on these lots. And I called her and I thanked her so much, and she made a comment saying, it's just because you had called me all of those times, and even though I told you no, when this builder called me and told me that he was looking to sell them, you're the first one that popped into my mind because of all the times that you reached out to me. And that served as a lesson to me, because even though it didn't work out in the way that I expected or wanted it to, I could have not imagined that for our company. The beautiful lots that she had blessed us with and God had blessed us with, I couldn't have envisioned that. And I thought that promise was over when the lot allocation happened and we didn't get a call and she didn't call us. In life, when you're consistent, other people might not notice it, but God notices it. When you are building that in yourself, you are the one that benefits from that consistency muscle. And that does not go unnoticed by God. 1 Corinthians 15-16 says, "Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, be steadfast, immovable, always excelling in the Lord's work, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain." You may feel like you're going unnoticed. You may feel that nobody sees how hard you're working, how much investment that you're putting into that company, how much investment that you're putting into that marriage. And even though it may go unnoticed by other people, it does not go unnoticed by God, and it will not end in vain. The Lord, your God, will gift you. Even though it's not going to turn out the way you thought that it would, the same with Howard Schultz, it eventually is going to come to you if you remain consistent and do those 3 yards every day. It's normal to feel discouraged. It's normal to feel down. I definitely did. I felt embarrassed. I felt, what am I doing calling her? I'm new. I'm young. She doesn't know who I am. She's definitely probably annoyed of me. I don't really know what I'm doing, but you still have to pick up the phone and call. You still have to show up to work and do your job. You still have to be kind to your loved one, to your significant other, even though you feel like the marriage is in the trenches. You have to show up every single day, be consistent, and do your best. You don't have to throw a Hail Mary. All you have to do is your 3 yards. And Mr. Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks, has a quote for you. He says, "In life, you can blame a lot of people, and you can wallow in self-pity, or you can pick yourself up and say, listen, I have to be responsible for myself. I believe life is a series of near misses. A lot of what we ascribe to luck is not luck at all. It's seizing the day and accepting responsibility for your future. It's seeing what other people don't see and pursuing that vision." We might say, oh, Howard Schultz got lucky that Starbucks went bankrupt and he saw an opportunity, but Howard Schultz had no money. And if it wasn't for him going to that trip to Italy, for him feeling in his heart the Holy Spirit tell him, look at this idea, pursue it. You're onto something here. And him working his butt off by himself, opening these stores, not having any experience, going to these investors, getting rejected time and time again. All of that gave him the toolbox that he needed to eventually raise the money when the opportunity presented itself and Starbucks went bankrupt. He stepped in, he shot his shot, he took it and he grabbed it because of all of the tools that he acquired over the years from the consistency that he put in every single day. It's not luck. It's not about luck. You have to create your own luck, and we can create that by being consistent. Galatians 6 verse 9 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." So what is that one thing that you can do in your business, in your marriage, in your relationship that you can consistently do every single day? Not a Hail Mary, not a game-winning shot, just 3 yards. What are the 3 yards that you can take today? Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.